The wildest story involving El Chapo's son in Mexico. His name is Ovidio Guzmán López. And here's what happened. So heavily armed gunmen went on a shooting rampage through the capital of Sinaloa state, and that's on Mexico's Pacific coast, battling security forces after authorities attempted to arrest El Chapo's son. So there are conflicting reports as far as regarding whether security forces were actually able to arrest him and then let him go, or whether they just found him and then chose to abort the mission after it got hot. Regardless, Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador defended the decision to back down, saying his predecessor's strategy turned this country into a cemetery, and we don't want that anymore. Take a look at what went down.
Rifle in the middle of the street shooting people.
So that is not the authorities.
No. That is an assassin. So what happened is there was, well, actually, you know what, Brooke, you want to go through with it? I don't want to stop in there.
No, you're good.
Okay, so the official report is, and like you said, there are conflicting reports, but the official report is that the Mexican military had done an unauthorized raid that ended up capturing Ovidio Guzmán López, the son of El Chapo Guzmán, and known to be the leader in that region. And as soon as that happened, they were outnumbered, outgunned immediately. And on top of that, the sicarios came in from neighboring areas, neighboring states, and they just started causing havoc, killing civilians, shooting at police officers. There's dead police officers all over the city. We saw the video. There was a guy with a 50 cal, like that's like an anti-material rifle, basically shooting at civilians. And then because AMLO did not want to escalate the conflict and did not want to escalate civilian casualties, he decided to let Ovidio Guzmán López go.
Yeah, so let me give a little bit more color on that. It's about 30 National Guard and Army troops that were patrolling the area. I don't know if they stumbled onto him, but they found El Chapo's son, and they go in the house and they have him. They're about to leave, and they get surrounded by El Chapo's men, the Sinaloa cartel. Okay, they're so outnumbered that they literally let him go and walk out. So, and look, if you're thinking, oh, that's outrageous, etc. Not only sniper rifles, as you saw there, truck-mounted machine guns. And then after, but I think it was a terrible idea to let him go. Now, it's easy for me to say not being surrounded by the Sinaloa cartel, right? But because afterwards, it appears that they went around town shooting randomly, because they gotta feel empowered. They just overwhelmed the cops and the military. They're a bigger military force in Mexico than the cops are. I mean, certainly they were in that instance.
Yeah.
So they gotta think that's it. There are no laws anymore, and we rule this place.
Yeah.
Well, there are laws. It's their laws. They, like you said, they rule, and that was more so a flex to ensure that this never happens again. Like civilians are just casualties to showcase what their power is, but. One important factor here is that guns are banned in Mexico, but these guys were running around with anti-tank, like light anti-tank weapons. They had rocket launchers, they had machine guns, 50 caliber machine guns planted on top of Jeeps. And the reason why they have this is because there is a gigantic cocaine to gun trade with their northern border and our southern border. They sell us cocaine to the American market, and then they get all of their guns from us, America. So it's a beautiful deal for the cartel. And with the current prohibition of drugs, we are only helping the cartel continue its reign of terror over Mexico.
And speaking of the US, of course, everyone knows that El Chapo has been sentenced to life in prison here, but his son also is wanted here in the US on drug trafficking charges.
Yes.
Right, so his sons now run the Sinaloa cartel since he's in prison.
And they're two more powerful than this one.
Yes, and that's right. And so they know that if they're captured by the Mexican authorities, they'll be handed over to the US authorities, this guy in particular, because he's already wanted in America. And then that's it, then they're screwed. Once they come to America, they never get out, right? And so now look, guys, but it is more complicated than this. So the current leader of Mexico is right that his predecessor had the wrong strategy. His predecessor was like, okay, let's just outgun them. Let's just mow them all down. And that led to unbelievable violence in Mexico. On the other hand, I don't think it's right to just let the guy go when you have him because you got surrounded. That's when you call for backup, et cetera. Again, easy for me to say, but you've got to have a better balance than this. But if you really want to solve the heart of the problem, Haas is right. End the war on drugs, they won't have money. If they don't have money, they don't have weapons, and they don't have this power. The war on drugs is insane and is what's the heart of the problem and the violence in Mexico.
AMLO is also a leftist and is focusing on the social problems that cause crime rather than addressing crime in a violent manner.
That's right. Awesome. That's true. That's true, and that's the full context. Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.